reading Throne of Glass for the first time. Oh, poor baby, she was so clueless. Books are popular for a reason, because it's good. It's starting to piss me off. He should just find someone else. Aelin was mentioned, and I want to know more about her. I was absolutely flabbergasted. Let the flame burn. Let it burn. It's time! Hi! Hello, welcome! Let's get cozy and let's talk about books. This video is one of the most exciting videos that I've ever filmed in my whole entire life. I'm finally reading Throne of Glass for the very first time. For Christmas, I made my parents get me the series. They got me the box set. Beautiful editions that I'm holding right now, and it's finally time. The time has come. I'm reading Throne of Glass for the first time. Have I read anything else by Sarah J. Maas? Yes, I have read ACOTAR, and I really did enjoy it. I will say, after I read ACOTAR book 1, I was like, are you guys high? I gave that book 2 stars. Like, I really did not like book 1. But then book 2, I really loved. Book 3 is my favorite. So I do get the hype. I understand why Sarah J. Maas is such a loved author. Yeah, because her books are so entertaining. And everybody says Throne of Glass is better. I'm joining the trend. I'm joining the bandwagon. And I'm reading Throne of Glass for the very first time. With that being said, I think I'm going to split this reading vlog in 2 parts. We have 8 books. So I'm thinking 4 and 4. So in this video, I'm going to read the first 4, and in part 2 I'm going to read the last 4, because I'm anticipating that this is going to take me a full month of reading, not only because we have some chunks of books right here, but also because of the emotional damage that I'm anticipating. Are these videos going to be spoiler free? I don't know how I would make this a non-spoiler reading vlog. I can be non-spoiler about book 1, but then book 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, what are we going to talk about? Like, I'm going to be freaking out in silence mode? I don't think so. Unfortunately, if you've not read this already, this is going to be a full spoiler reading vlog. So make sure to read this first and then come back to this video to experience it together. Last but not least, before we start, we need to tackle the most important thing, the reading order. We have a prequel situation going on, and a lot of people are debating whether you should read the prequel first or as the 3rd book or the 4th book, and I am going to follow the reading order proposed by Emily Fun. I'm going to start with Throne of Glass, then Crown of Midnight, then Heir of Fire, and then The Assassin's Blade. Em does such a great job of explaining why this is the best way to read this. There's nobody that loves Throne of Glass more than Emily, so I am going to follow her lead, and I'm going to read the prequel as the 4th book. So these 4 are going to be the victims of the first vlog. Then I'll go into Queen of Shadows. I'm going to do the tandem read of Empire of Storms and Tower of Dawn. The last and final book, Kingdom of Ash. I'm equally as excited as nervous. This is a pretty big deal. I mean, if you don't love these books, you're basically canceled. So I need to love these books. I heard that the author wrote Throne of Glass when she was 16, and honestly, when I was 16, I couldn't string 2 sentences along. I still can't do it, so this is really impressive. I'm procrastinating. I'm rambling now because I'm scared to start, but this is a very big moment for me. I need to gather myself. Okay, I guess let's roll the tape. Chapter 1. Okay, this is my 100-page update. I'm nervous to talk about this. Like, I know that I have such a huge journey ahead of me, and I'm gonna look back at this video and be like, oh, poor baby, she was so clueless. The enormity of the series and how loved it is and how many people have read it, it made me so skeptical to start it, because I felt like I was reading the fucking Bible. I guess I did not expect how bingeable this is and how nice of a read this is. It was so easy to get into. I was so scared that I wouldn't understand or that it would be just bigger than me that I ended up downloading the audiobook. I read while I also listen to it, and I'm massively enjoying it. Like, I'm genuinely loving this. I love Selena. She is so confident and so funny and sarcastic and strong and measured, but also flawed and young. And you can already tell that she has so much room to grow and her character has so much room to, I can already see the arc of her character, although I don't know, I genuinely don't know what this story is about, period. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into at all. I've gotten 0 spoilers so far, but I can tell that there's so much room to grow for this character. But still, she has a great foundation. I already love her so much. I love that this is a spoiler vlog. I've never done one before, so I don't need to tell you guys what this book is about because you already know. You know more than I do. This is a very, very pleasant surprise. I'm very excited to keep reading it. Books are popular for a reason. This is popular for a reason because it's good, or at least the first 100 pages are good, are great even. I'm really enjoying this. I'm gonna try to give you more updates as I read. So far, not much has happened. Honestly, we're starting on a good note. Please don't mind the way that I look right now, but I just remember I can update you on things that are happening in the book because you know what's happening in the book, so I can tell you what I'm reacting to. I feel like this is one of the first really significant moments between Selena and Dorian. I don't know if they're gonna be a thing, but I feel like they're going to be friends anyway. And we just had this scene. He's in her room. She's like, "My dear prince, you're alone in my rooms. The hallway door is very far away. I can say whatever I wish." That was so funny. And she's so unapologetically herself and so confident. And I love her. I love her. And then he makes a joke about her former lover. And then all of a sudden that cutesy, tensiony thing between the two of them gets into a very emotional part, and she opens up about Sam. I feel like this is the first time when she actually shows maybe weakness in front of him, and I was like, oh, we just took a turn. This was a good moment. I was like, 1 second I was giggling and kicking my feet, and then the second I was like, oh, okay, that was my update. So I'm officially halfway through the book, so it's time for an update. Things have just started happening. She just found secret tunnels. The woman in her dream gave her this mission of finding the evil in the castle, and she's like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? But the tests are still going on, and she still wants to win and become the champion. There was this party, and she wasn't invited, but because she could go through the tunnels, she saw that Dorian and Kale were there. And after the party was over, Dorian came to her room, and then Kale came to her room. And I'm like, does Kale have a crush on her? Because I don't fuck with the love triangle. I'm flying through it, and the stakes just got a little bit higher. So far, it really does feel like the first book in a series where the FMC is so clueless as to what's happening to her, and everything's just going to be revealed book by book by book. And we're just as confused as she is right now. So I've never gotten any spoilers about Throne of Glass, so I genuinely have no idea what I'm getting myself into. I have no idea where we're going to end up, who's going to be with who, what other characters are going to be in the found family, because I think there's going to be a found family. I don't fucking know. Also, I'm really loving the fact that they're in a castle and she's wearing dresses and there are parties and stuff like that. I did not know that was Throne of Glass. I feel like ACOTAR was way more... Feyre was wearing dresses, but I'm imagining them completely differently. She was more like a fae sort of vibe with ethereal fairy. I feel like I'm reading a Victorian style sort of castle and dresses and stuff. I don't know if that makes any sense or if that's accurate at all. I would love to go on Pinterest, but I know for a fact that if I Google anything about Throne of Glass, I'm gonna get spoilers, and I've lived this long with no spoilers. I don't want to get them now. So yeah, that's my update. I'm going to continue. That's that on that. T-minus 100 pages update. It's time. In every single fantasy that I've ever read before, the last 100 pages go crazy. So it's time for another update. Heira, is that how you say her name? This is so fucked for me. Anyway, the princess girl, she's shady. She's shady and she knows more than she lets on. And the fact that she's actually fluent in this language, like the common language. Ma'am, what are you hiding? What are you hiding? I don't think she's a villain. Like, if she's a villain, I've been fooled. But I don't think so. I just think she just knows so much more than Selena, and we're just in her brain. But like, I don't think she's a villain, but I do think she's shady. Related to that, do you know who else is shady? Do you know who's actually shady? I think Kaltain. I think she's shady. I think she's the one character in this story that's supposed to be annoying and she's supposed to piss you off, and I think she's gonna do some dumb shit. Like, she's gonna get in the middle of things in some way and I'm not gonna like it. I don't know if she's gonna be like a big character. I genuinely don't know. And then my last note, we are now really looking into this evil creature and like who's killing the champions, right? The way that this is like so deeply focused on that, and like the last 100 pages I'm expecting to be very much surrounding that, it makes me feel like this is like a crime mystery, but in a fantasy setting. Like, it's going to be like some sort of creature, shape-shifting sort of situation. I don't fucking know. It's a fantasy thing, but like presented in a crime mystery frame. It's fun and it's like, I'm really enjoying it, but you can tell it's like young, and I can't wait for it to become larger than life and bigger, because this so far is just so small and contained and like very much limited to the space that we're in, like to the castle and the creature and the games and the tests and stuff like that. I'm expecting the worst from the last 100 pages, because that's usually what happens in the last 100 pages of a fantasy book. So I would be surprised if shit wouldn't go down. These are my updates. I'm excited. Let's do it together. Let's fucking go. Okay, as you guys saw, I finished book 1 and I don't really feel like I have a lot to say because I updated a bunch while reading this book. I really liked it. I liked it more than I thought that I would. I'm expecting that in book 2, the stakes are gonna get even higher and we're gonna get more answers about the world and the world is gonna grow. I think she established that in book 2, we're gonna have higher stakes because, like, they were saying if she doesn't complete her tasks now that she's the king's champion, then Kale is gonna die. So like the stakes are already higher, but we don't know her first mission yet, so it's kind of like leaving us wanting more. The love triangle situation with Kale, I'm not liking it. Like, her being on the balcony all giddy after being with Dorian, and then Kale looking at her being like, oh no, but why are you like this, and I like you. And now, especially with the fact that the book ended with like his life kind of depending on her, I feel like there's definitely gonna be a love triangle, so I'm worried about that. I love Heira and I'm so happy that I was right about her because I really like her and I can't wait to see how her character is gonna play a huge part in the plot. I think it will. I don't know, but I really like her and I'm so happy that she didn't turn out to be evil. I don't think that Kaltain necessarily turned out to be evil. She was just played. She wasn't the mastermind of anything. She could potentially have a good redemption arc. I see that for her and I would like that for her. I don't know if that's gonna happen. Other than that, I really love Selena. I think she's one of the best female characters that I've ever read about. She's so likable and so relatable. I love her. Like, she's the driving part of this story. Like, if she wouldn't be this likable, I don't think I would have liked the story as much. I think I'm gonna settle on a 4-star maybe. We're not saying goodbye. I don't know why I felt like I had to wrap a whole thing up. We're not. We're just moving on. I'm about 50 pages in. I want to go to bed, but I thought I'd give you a reading update. I'm literally just starting this book, so I don't have much to say, but I love Selena, and I think we've established that, but I love her even more now because I've just found out that her job as the king's champion is to kill random people that the king wants her to kill, and she actually never does. I thought she couldn't be more perfect, and now she's proven me wrong because she is. The love triangle sort of situation is getting worse and worse and worse because Kale, we've been in his thoughts already and he's like down bad for her. So it's definitely like a love triangle sort of situation. It's starting to piss me off. Like he should just find someone else. The latest update, like the chapter that I ended on, was when she was trying to go to the library and this like creature was in front of her, and like her pendant from Queen Elena shone a blue light, and what? Anyway, the creature thing happened. She's supposed to kill this like rebel that she knew from before she was the king's champion, and I don't know how she's gonna be able to fake his death. I'm really interested in that. So far, so good. It's time for an update. I just reached part 2 of the book. I'm over halfway through. I haven't really given a lot of updates as I was reading this one because I honestly feel like I don't really have much to say. The main plot points that have happened so far was the fact that Selena is now with Kale, like they're together, and that Nehemira has died. And honestly, that doesn't surprise me at all. Like it wasn't like a I can't believe this moment. It was like, oh, yeah. Kind of assumed that would be the direction that this is going into. We found out that Dorian has powers. I want to know more about that. I want to see him explore that more. I want to know more about the rebellion. Aelin was mentioned, and I want to know more about her and like what's that whole thing about. I feel like I enjoyed Throne of Glass way more because it was new and I was introduced to the world and the characters and the plot and all of that. With this one, I know where I am. I'm imagining everything, but like nothing is really happening. Not the best update ever. I really do hope that the second part of this book is going to come around and it's going to be more exciting. I'm honestly not losing hope for the second part because we've just found out that Nehemira has died, and I feel like that's going to anger Selena, maybe hopefully enough so that she finally does something. Literally, that's all I have to say. For you, it's probably been less than a minute, but for me, it's been days and days and days and days, many books in between. So let me dial it back and remember where we were. I think when I last saw you, I was about halfway through Crown of Midnight, and I was struggling with it. If I'm not mistaken, that's where you and me, left off. I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite by any means. I mean, it was fine. And then I proceeded to finish this book while I was on the plane back home visiting my parents, and I absolutely binged the last about 200 pages of this book, and the ending, I knew that Aelin was going to be a key character, a very important character, because I had heard people speaking about this series before, and I was like, oh, okay, so maybe we're gonna meet her later in a future book, maybe we're gonna read about her in, I don't know, Assassin's Blade. I don't know. I didn't know who that bitch was. And finding out that not only Selena is Aelin, but also that she's Fae and she has this heritage and she's supposed to be the queen. Like what? I was absolutely flabbergasted. When I finished this book, I was like, did I miss something? I feel like we got a lot of big pieces of information, but the story didn't really feel cohesive. I think I gave this one 3.5. I was really surprised by the ending of it, and I think the wow factor really did it for me. I started this book yesterday, and I'm struggling to read while I'm at home because I'm visiting my parents. I don't see them very often, so I want to spend a lot of time with them. I'm not even 100 pages in. I think I'm maybe like 80 pages in or something. I'm just gonna call her Selena because she personally doesn't really identify with Aelin yet. She's so depressed right now and so detached from everything. She's working in the kitchen in Maeve's palace. She just met Rowan, and also Manon has been mentioned for the first time. I know for a fact that those two are gonna have bigger roles in the story. I was really looking forward to reading more about the rebellion and the magic and all of that. Like, I was kind of bored of like not knowing and like being in the dark and just kind of like guessing and trying to find out what happened. Like, give it to me already. Let's find out. Let's fight. Let's get into it. And I hope this is going to be that. That's my update. I'm so excited to just rot and read. Wait, did they just speak in each other's minds? I literally just finished this book like a second ago, and I want to update as soon as possible. I loved this. This was definitely my favorite one in the series so far, and I could tell from the beginning because we were starting to get the part that I was actually interested in, like Selena or like Aelin. I don't even know, because now she's finally owned up to her name and her position and her role and who she is, and I don't know how to call her. I think Aelin, actually. That was my favorite part, you know? I wanted to see her explore who she is and her powers and her strengths and her weaknesses and her relationships. And I feel like with Dorian, she rushed into things so quickly. Like, initially I thought they would just be friends, but then immediately he went into like, I love you, I'm in love with you, you're my whole world. And then with Chaol the same. And I wanted to see her with herself. I wanted her to spend time with herself and to battle with her insecurities and fears. And I feel like this was exactly what that was. It was a little bit confusing with so many perspectives. We got the Chaol, Dorian, Ren, Aedion side of the story, and that was very exciting. I now understand how important Aedion was for Aelin, and she will fight for him. Like, I cannot wait to see this woman trying to free Aedion. That's going to be so fun. And Chaol is now on the loose with Ren. Spy vibes. I do feel like he could be the next one to die. Is that bad to say? Like, I feel like he's going to be the next person to die. And then we have Dorian and Sorsha. We don't know much about her. I feel like that's something that I didn't really like. Like, we just briefly met her. Dorian, once again, immediately fell in love with her. Like, he just really does need to give himself some time as well. So that's the next thing that I'm excited for, to see Dorian grovel by himself. I'm so sorry though for him, because he's going to go through it in the next book. And then obviously we got Aelin and Rowan. And I love, like, I think I called it with Aelin and Rowan. They're gonna be a thing. I hope so. Anyway, I really do hope so. And I really love that we got this whole entire book of them knowing each other, and they went from enemies to friends. And I feel like now they're truly friends. And I want them to stay friends for at least one more book until something happens with the two of them. I love a slow burn, especially in a YA, because I feel like this is a YA. I think this is a YA. Let the flame burn. Let it burn. They really went through it in this book, and they really did help each other and help each other grow. He's so brooding and tortured and loyal. Perfect fantasy man. I love him. That's my man. I can't wait to see where they go from here. Oh, and we also got Manon. We also got Manon and the witches and all of that. And that was interesting, but I felt like it was very vague, and I can't wait to explore that more further. Like, I want to know more. I want to find out the lore behind her life. I should just literally put on a new story in between, not matching with any of the other ones, out of nowhere in there. And it's not that I didn't like it. I really liked it, but I want more. Like, I want it to blend in with the story. It kind of felt like out of nowhere. If we're on this topic, I could see the similarities between Fourth Wing and this, like the wing leader and the wyverns and the crossing and the bonding with the wyvern. Judging only by Heir of Fire, okay? I don't know what's gonna happen next. I don't know what more we're gonna get from that. So, like, take this with a pinch of salt. But judging only from Heir of Fire, I feel like Rebecca Yarros read this story. She was fascinated by Manon's side of the story, and she was like, let me expand on this lore in a whole completely different world that can live separately. It felt like inspiration, but usually when we have very similar stories or cop-outs of the same story, we get the exact same story but with different names, and we get nothing new. When it comes to characters, when it comes to plot, we get nothing new. We just change the names and boom, we have a different story. With this, I feel like she kept the names, she kept the exact same structure, but she expanded it into a completely different universe. She really built on that lore. So I'm not mad about it. Could I be biased because Fourth Wing is one of my favorite books in the whole entire world? It's like my second favorite series ever, like out of all of the books that I've ever read. Maybe this really got me very excited. I don't want to slump now that I'm going back in time to Assassin's Blade. I'm really trying to convince myself not to slump, to pick Assassin's Blade immediately so that I don't get a chance to like forget this story or like not want to read that story. I actually have no idea what that is about. I've not read the backs to any of the books. I don't want to spoil it for myself. I have no idea what I'm getting myself into, but I'm very excited. And that's the last book that we're going to read in this video together. And then we're going to switch to part 2. So next time you see me, we are going to start Assassin's Blade. I was updating you about finishing Heir of Fire this morning, and I only started reading this book late afternoon, and I'm over halfway through. That's how fast-paced this book is, and that's how quickly I got through it. It's like 5 novellas. They are tied together and they are in chronological order. Each of them introduces like some key characters that I don't know, maybe we're gonna meet later up in the story. I love her novellas. I feel like she does such a great job of writing like short stories, very concentrated ones. So I am enjoying this. I have 2 stories left. I'm excited to meet new characters, and like I'm excited to find out why this story is so detrimental to the rest of the series. It's just fun, but nothing much is happening. I'll see you when I see you. Okay, I'm done. Let's talk about it and let's wrap this video up, shall we? I finished Assassin's Blade yesterday, and I decided to take a little bit of time before I talked about it because initially when I finished this book, I was completely unimpressed. This is fine, but why? So I was like, you know what, let's take a break and let's let it simmer. Let's let it sink in. So now I actually started this book this morning. I read like 20 pages of it, and we've already mentioned the end of this book. So I was like, okay, so I see, first of all, why we got it, and I'm still hoping that maybe we get other characters from the beginning of the book in the future ones, so at least there's a reason for it. And also, I understand why people say read it before this, because the information is fresh, you know, you just found out those things. I'm very excited about this. I'm only 20 pages in and I'm already like, oh, okay, I'm invested, I'm excited, I can't wait. But as you guys know, the next 4 books, including this one, are going to be part of a separate video. So let's wrap my thoughts about the first 4 books really quickly. One thing that I've noticed with these books is that in every single book, she has another boyfriend. So I finished Assassin's Blade and I was kind of like, oh, poor Sam, but at the same time, I don't know you. I have not had enough time to get attached to you, to care for you, to mourn you. I don't understand the gravity of the whole situation because I have not had time to care for this character. And then looking back, I realized like in Throne of Glass, she has Dorian. In Crown of Midnight, she has Kale. In Heir of Fire, she has Rowan. And in Assassin's Blade, she has Sam. And she doesn't start any of the books already being in love with them. She falls in love during the book, and you as a reader are expected to fall in love as well. Like, I don't know you. I mean, I've had 4 books to fall in love with Aelin, and I have. She's such a likable character, not in the way that she's perfect, but in the way that she's deeply imperfect and very relatable. And she's also like a girl's girl, you know, she loves her jewelry, her clothes, her, you know, like the little luxuries of life. And she's so real and snappy, and she makes mistakes, but she's impulsive like every other 19-year-old girl, you know, or 18 or however old she is. Anyway, so I really love her and I've had time to fall in love with her, but I've not had any time to fall in love with any of the other men. So I think that's where it's kind of lacking for me. So I'm really hoping that from book 5 onward, following Aelin and Rowan's story, I really hope we only get Aelin and Rowan from now on. She doesn't fall in love with any other men. Please, please, Sarah J. Maas, please, I am begging you, because I already love Rowan the most. So I really hope she stays with Rowan. We get to know him better, his history better, them like being friends and being loyal to each other. And, you know, I hope to get all of that in the future books. That's kind of like my only bone to pick with these books so far. I'm ready for some action. I'm ready for some drama. I'm ready for some intense, deep, believable love. I want to get more of Dorian, and I want to get more of Manon. I hope I didn't offend anyone. It's very strange for me to do a spoiler vlog because every other vlog that I've done was spoiler free. So now that I actually can talk to you about the plot, it's kind of like counterintuitive for me right now. So I hope I get the hang of it more and more with the next vlog that's to come. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope to see you in part 2. I hope the book that you're reading right now is a 5-star floppy best book you've ever read. Let me know what your favorite book from this series is and what you think mine will by the end of it. And without further ado, I'll leave you to reading. It's looking up. It's really looking up. Shut up. I think Manon and Dorian just met for the very first time. I'll bleed whatever color you tell me to. That might as well have been the most entertaining piece of literature that I've ever consumed in my whole entire life. Oh, it's getting so good. It's getting so good. I feel like I've been run over by a truck. Can I be delusional for just 1 second and assume that that man was Rhysand?